I'm with you in that you're going to have to take calculated risks, and that's what Leon Rose has been about since he's been here, and he's been measured. He hasn't been gung-ho in terms of mortgaging this franchise's future for immediate gains. They have had a prudent approach, and you're going to have to roll the dice in certain respects to get to that top level. And you're right, Donnie, when you look at next season, all things considered, you hope that they're healthy, and if they roll over, say, 85 to 90% of this roster, this is a top 3 team in the East. With Boston coming down, Milwaukee's going to come down, and so you have to figure it's going to be Indiana, the Knicks, the Cleveland Cavaliers in some sort of order in the preseason rankings. And so where they go from here, Jason Kidd is obviously the hot name right now. Both sides are interested from what we've heard in terms of Kidd and the New York Knicks. Is he that championship caliber coach to take the Knicks there?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Here we go at Oakmont. Let's start with the course. What do we know about this course? How long is the rough, and does course history come into effect for you this week?
The U.S. Open has always been billed as the most difficult test of golf there is on the planet. And I tell you what, it's often labeled as the most difficult golf course in the world is Oakmont.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Hello and welcome to a Thursday Live right here on the Early Line on SportsGrid and all across the SportsGrid network. That includes sportsgrid.com/watch, where you can find your favorite destination to consume everything all across the grid. He is Donnie Rightside. I am Ben Stevens. We are here together live for the next 3 hours up until 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Bright and early on this Thursday morning. We're not the Oklahoma City Thunder, but the Indiana Pacers. Yes, the Indiana Pacers have a 2-1 series lead in the NBA Finals for the first time in a quarter century, hosting a finals game in downtown Indy. The Pacers win outright and take a decisive 2-1 series advantage. What happened inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse, we will break down in the entirety of this opening hour. A full Wednesday slate around Major League Baseball. Game number 4 of the Stanley Cup Final in Sunrise tonight, where the reigning champs are just 2 wins away, that being the Panthers from a second consecutive Stanley Cup, and oh so much more, DRS, over these 3 hours here on TEL.
Yeah, good stuff here so far. Looking forward to that golf tournament underway right now. Ludwig Oberg out to a hot start at Oakmont in the Pittsburgh area. So some good championship battles to watch there, but also the championship battles that we're loving right now. Thank you to the Indiana Pacers. Even if they don't win this series, Ben, they were the hero to the people who love basketball because we got an extended series and a fun series to talk about, and still they are not getting any respect from the FanDuel Sportsbook, which we'll talk about some of those odds to win the series, the next game, and what have you. But I'm loving this here. Watching that game last night, rooting interest here, 1-1, right, with the bets that I made yesterday with Tyrese Halliburton going over 2.5 3-point shots made. Lost the first half, minus 2.5 for OKC, but love the finish there. Love the fact that Indiana has a 2-1 lead, Ben.
Love the fact that Indiana has a 2-1 lead, DRS, and one of the main storylines for us entering the NBA Finals with Oklahoma City, such a hefty favorite to be crowned an NBA championship this season. Would we even see the Pacers make this a competitive series? I think the storyline after 3 games, not only has Indiana made this a competitive championship set, but there's a chance the Indiana Pacers can win a Larry O'Brien trophy as an NBA champion. As last night, for the first time in 25 years, Indianapolis hosted an NBA Finals game, and their Pacers win outright as a 5.5-point underdog once again. 116-107. Continue to overlook Indiana at your own peril as the Pacers overcome the odds once more. Their 9th outright win straight up as an underdog in this magical playoff run. And it's Indiana not OKC, that has a 2-1 series lead after 3 games in the NBA Finals.
And absolutely impressive. And you saw last night, my thought process was Oklahoma City's going to come out and take the crowd out of it. And they were great in the first quarter. Oh, this should be an easy -2.5 cover in the first half. But the Pacers dropped 40 points on OKC in the second quarter to come away with a lead at the break. But still, entering into the fourth quarter, you had a lead for OKC, and the Pacers had to come back. A 32-18 fourth quarter was the deciding margin there. The Pacers were really good all the way through, made the shots when they needed to, got the runs when they needed to, and that crowd was on fire last night at Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Yes, it certainly was, DRS, and that's been the story for this Pacers team. Not quite a 15-plus point comeback last night, but trailing by 9 early in the second quarter, the Pacers had a 4-point advantage at the break. In Indiana, trailing by 5, entering the fourth and final and most important stanza, Indiana wins that one by 14 points. Big night for Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam. But we will remember Game 3 of the 2025 NBA Finals for a man that makes me want to change my name from Benjamin to Benedict. That would be Benedict Mathurin, a team-high 27 points, the most we have ever seen, DRS, for a bench player in an NBA Finals game since Jason Terry and his headband back in 2011. The Pacers have a 2-1 series lead, and yet continuously booked as an underdog, both for Game 4 tomorrow night and to win that Larry O'Brien hardware. We'll talk about that in just a matter of moments. Indiana beating the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, so the offseason already here for the Knicks. Of course, they fired Tom Thibodeau last week. We thought they had a replacement in place. It's been a disastrous coaching search for New York to begin. They've been getting rebuked and ghosted left and right. DRS, we talked about Chris Finch and the T-Wolves saying no. Jason Kidd in the Mavericks saying no. The Rockets and Ime Udoka saying no. Add 2 more teams. Last night, the Knicks called both the Chicago Bulls about Billy Donovan and the Atlanta Hawks for Quinn Snyder, and both teams said, over my dead body. The New York Knicks coaching search not at a great point.
I haven't even, this is just odd at this point, because usually you would have, again, we talked about a Coach Tibbs getting fired. You probably have a couple guys in your back pocket that you can go to right away. But the fact that it's usually like, hey, we're going to get a coaching search. Most coaching searches don't have in the NBA, let's just call other teams and see if one says yes, or we can trade for their head coach. I have no idea where this coaching search is going right now. But if we thought it was going to be a rock star to replace Tom Thibodeau, it doesn't look like it's going to be that route. It is quite embarrassing where your coaching search was, let's pry another head coach under contract from another team here. Doesn't make any sense to me. We'll see where it lands, but right now, doesn't look good for the Knicks.
Interview somebody that is open for employment. You know, the open to work thing on LinkedIn? Knicks, that's where you should start your coaching search. Kevin Durant might be in the hunt for a new team this summer. His business partner, Rich Kleiman, and the Phoenix Suns are already sorting through some potential trade options. This according to ESPN's Shams Charania. Houston, San Antonio, Minnesota, Miami, and New York all rumored to be in the mix.
He better go to a ready-made dynasty, because that's the only way he seems like he can win a championship like he did in Golden State. Oh, I don't need Golden State. This is my team here. I'll do whatever I want and get – come on, man. Kevin Durant hasn't done a damn thing since being out of Golden State at this point. So what makes us think that he's going to go to another franchise that will quote-unquote be his and they'll win anything? They won't.
Let's go to baseball now, DRS. Some tough news for the Detroit Tigers. Their rookie hurler, Jackson Jobe, set to undergo Tommy John surgery. Of course, that means he is going to miss the rest of this 2025 campaign.
Exactly, and probably knocking him out for next year as well. Disastrous. Not an ankle turn, not a bone spur at this point here. When you have arm problems as a young, talented pitcher, see you in a few years, kid.
44-25. The Tigers getting beat in Baltimore yesterday. So Detroit no longer the best record in the Bigs. That belongs by a half game to the New York Mets, making 5 consecutive victories for the Amazons, 44-24 after David Peterson throws a complete game shutout yesterday as the Mets win their 5th consecutive.
Hey, man, at the plate, clutch hitting, pitching certainly good, playing teams you're supposed to beat, and handling your business. The Mets are doing it all right now. Good for them.
A couple of games, DRS, in the WNBA last night, and the most shocking result, the Seattle Storm and the Minnesota Lynx, their first loss of the season. The Lynx entered last night a perfect 9-0. Seattle wins at home. Paige Beckers makes her return for Dallas. She scores a 35-point performance, and yet her Wings only one single win this year.
When's Clark getting back here, huh? What's that? We're on Clark watch right now, Ben.
We'll see. Dallas 1-10 to begin this season. They lost to Phoenix last night. The United States Open, the 125th playing this year at Oakmont, now underway. Donnie, we thought the course was supposed to be treacherous.
Yeah,
Ludwig Oberg, 2 under through his opening 2 holes. He has lit the course on fire on this Thursday in Pittsburgh. We'll have a live check-in from Oakmont later on in this show. To Indianapolis, next.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
You can call the Indiana Pacers many things throughout this magical playoff run. The underdog winners, the comeback and cardiac kids, and now DRS, the team that has a lead in the NBA Finals. A 2-1 series advantage for Indiana, hosting an NBA Finals game for the first time in 2.5 decades last night inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And yet, despite the good tidings of being home in Indy and being on their own home floor, the Pacers were a 5.5-point home underdog. But that's why the underdog winners have other ideas, defying the expectations throughout the entirety of this postseason for yet another outright win. 116-107. last night in game number 3 to take that 2-1 series advantage over Oklahoma City. Again, the Thunder, a 5.5-point favorite entering game 3. A total of 226 that worked its way down throughout the day does stay under. OKC had a 5-point lead entering the fourth and final quarter, but that is where Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, and now add in Benedict Mathurin have been doing most of their damage throughout this playoff run. The Pacers win the fourth and most important quarter by 14 total points for a 7-point win in Game 3 and a 2-1 series lead in the 2025 NBA Finals.
Credit to the Pacers, man. Again, stealing game number 1. Stealing game number 1 then on their home court here, up 2-1 in the series. And we'll get to those prices in just a little bit. But I always talk about this, Ben. When you need good performances, you can always lean on your bench, typically at home, more so than on the road. Obi Toppin had the good game number 1, not so good at game number 2. Comes back with some energy. And how about a plus 18 with 8 points and 6 rebounds in the game last night, 4 for 8 from the floor. And then you take a look at Benedict Mathurin, as you pointed out, 27 total points off the bench. TJ McConnell was absolutely all over the place last night. 10 points, 5 assists, and 5 steals. So many clutch moments for him last night because why? Feeding off the home crowd. And every time he did something big here, chanting at the crowd, holding his hand up to his ear. Like, I can't hear you right now. The energy was tremendous from the bench guys last night. And you take a look at the starting lineup. You only got 7 from Nesmith. You only got 9 from Miles Turner. Nembhard, 8 points here. Siakam was still doing the things that you love to see him do all over the place. 21 points here, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block. And then you finally, which I was calling for, Tyrese Halliburton, start knocking some 3-point shots down here. He did that last night and hit some clutch moments. But for me, it was the bench. It was the energy that you expect to get from the home crowd here to feed off of. And they did exactly that in their victory last night.
Many consistent and common themes, DRS, in game number 3 playing out in the NBA Finals for both sides. The Indiana Pacers are now 9-4 straight up. That is 9-4 outright as an underdog throughout this postseason run. That is the best win percentage at .629 of any team booked as an underdog throughout a single NBA postseason in association history. Second most wins ever outright as an underdog in NBA playoff history, only trailing by 1 of the Miami Heat, who did so in 2022-23 on their way to an NBA Finals appearance, albeit a loss to the Denver Nuggets. Indiana is going to be an underdog the remainder of this series. So if the Pacers are to be crowned an NBA champion, they will have the most wins outright as an underdog throughout a single postseason. But one of those common themes, DRS, for Indiana last night, 6-7 players in double figures, not exactly there. They had 8 guys scoring at least 7 points, but the balance and the depth of the Pacers won the day yesterday. Indiana's bench outscoring Oklahoma City's 49-18. That included 27 points, a team high, out of Benedict Mathurin, the most points for a reserve player in an NBA Finals game since 2011. And you mentioned TJ McConnell, by the way, 10 points, 5 dimes, 5 steals, the first player off the bench in NBA Finals history with a 10-5-5 game. That's 5 assists and 5 steals. Stepping up in the critical and clutch moments, that's what Indiana delivers.
That's what they got last night and exactly what you needed. If you want to beat the favorite here, you have to play overwhelmingly better in certain areas. And as you pointed out, the bench was overwhelmingly better for the Pacers than it was for OKC. And also, you come into that game, you expect certain expectations like SGA. He's probably going to be in the low 30s. He only gives you 24 points, but he wasn't that bad. 9 of 20 isn't that all that inefficient here. And if I would have told you before the game, hey, by the way, Chet Holmgren's going to step up 20 points in that game. Jalen Williams going to give you 26. Oh, man, looks like they're going to be on their way to another victory. And how good, let's just say, Alex Caruso was in game number 2. That didn't happen last night. So you sort of slowed down SGA, didn't get to his normal 30s. Some other guys did get some points. You held the bench down, but you played well yourself because we talk about the Pacers so many times. It doesn't feel like it's one guy. Like we always just look to SGA, the MVP of the NBA this season, and say, well, he's got to get you into that 30, 35-point margin. Those are the expectations. Then the team would run fine. But we never know what we're going to get out of the Indiana Pacers. One night it's Siakam, one night it's Halliburton, one night it's Mathurin off the bench. It's an energy performance for TJ McConnell. There's so many different ways that the Pacers can beat you. I think that's why this team is a fun brand of basketball. It's like, okay, one-on-one, Carmelo and the Knicks. He just gets the ball and slows everything down. Nothing is slow with the Pacers, and you saw that last night, and it worked perfectly.
JRS, you could argue it's a paradigm shift within the NBA. There might not be a top 10 player on Indiana's roster. I would give them 2 top 25 guys in Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam. But in the super team era kind of dwindling, it's the Pacers' depth and balance that has won the day throughout this playoff run and has resulted in an Indiana 2-1 series advantage in the NBA Finals. And yet, the 2 stars for the Pacers stepping up in a big way last night. Nobody on Indiana in the opening 2 games of this championship series had reached the 20-point benchmark. Both Halliburton and Siakam get there last night. Tyrese was 1 board away from a triple-double, 22 points, 11 dimes, and 9 rebounds. In Halliburton's Indiana career, the Pacers are now 20-1 straight up when Tyrese Halliburton has a 20-point, 10-assist performance as he did last night. And DRS, if you are Oklahoma City, right, the bench got outplayed by the depth of the Pacers, but you still got 70 total points. Every guy scoring at least 20 of your big 3 in that starting 5. Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who only had 24 in game number 3 when he scored 72 total points in the first 2 games of the NBA Finals, the most in the first 2 games of any NBA player's career to start off their finals career. More around the NBA Finals next.
Their team totals 19.5 wins. I told you to go under, and it's by far the best bet I have recommended on this network in 4 years. They can't get out of their own way. And now Sloot is out for the year. Let's hope Sloot gets back because I respect the hell out of Sloot, and I want her to go out on her own terms. Hopefully we'll have her back for the 26th season.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I got a feeling Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. I got a feeling there is no chance they're going to the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. I'm just kidding.
They're still not expected to have over 8.5 wins. They're still not expected to have a winning record. Now, I know things could change for the next 24 hours. I get that. But everyone expected Aaron Rodgers to sign with him. He's going to sign with him.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
The 2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Foul him!
Oh, Freddie.
Jacob! Yes! Oh! It was never in doubt! It was never in doubt! Oh, there's points falling out of my eyeballs! Oh, James Johnson to the 10! Everybody gets home!
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
The Indiana Pacers have a 2-1 series advantage in the 2025 NBA Finals. What the odds are saying about the Pacers continuously being booked as an underdog in just a matter of moment. But DRS, there is no doubt that in the 2 victories for Indiana in the NBA Finals so far, the Pacers have been better when it has mattered most. Has Oklahoma City looked like the better team for a good majority of this series in its first 3 games? No doubt. But in the fourth quarter, both in game 1, stealing that in Oklahoma City, and last night, besting the Thunder by 14 points in that fourth and final quarter, when it has mattered most, in those critical and clutch moments, the Pacers have won the day. So what's been going wrong for the Thunder in that fourth and final quarter. OKC head coach Mark Daigneault tells us.
Yeah, I mean, they really outplayed us in the fourth. Give them credit. I thought we were in really good shape coming out of the third quarter. We had a 5-point lead and kind of weathered the storm of the second quarter. That was a rough quarter, and we were only down whatever we were at halftime, 4 or 6, and we got control of the game coming out of the third. And then in the fourth quarter, I just thought they really outplayed us on both ends. I thought they were in character in terms of their physicality, their pressure on defense, and then they were in character in terms of their pace on offense, and they just stacked way more, quality possessions in the fourth quarter than we did.
Mark Daigneault not wrong, DRS. Oklahoma City had an 8-point lead after one, 9-point advantage early in the second. Indiana fought back to take a 4-point lead at the break. So OKC throws the first punch. The Pacers respond. How would the Thunder respond right out of the gates in the second half? Great. Oklahoma City had a 5-point advantage entering the fourth. It felt as though the Thunder were on track to even cover as a 5.5-point road favorite in game number 3 to take a 2-1 series lead. The Pacers won the fourth and most important quarter by 14 total points. What did you make of Indiana's final 12 minutes last night?
It's what they always do, isn't it, Ben? Like, they don't shake. They just don't shake right now. You're down late in a game in a pivotal spot here, and they always come up with the plays, it seems like, to absolutely win this game, and they continuously did that once again last night. But by the way, in those post-game press conference interviews, the more I hear out of Daigneault, the more I like, man. Just calm, cool, collected, simple answers right there. Make some sense. You can see why that team would buy into him as well, saying, we were the best team in the regular season in the NBA. We'll be okay. They just outplayed us tonight. Not taking shots at his players here, not getting over-dramatic, not huffing and puffing at some of the reporters asking questions here. So nice, calm, cool demeanor, which is what you need when you're down 2-1. Because the team that seems like it's faced a lot of adversity so far has been the Pacers, overwhelmingly overcoming that. Now you see some real dig down deep. Oh no, we can't lose game number 4 because then we're in trouble. We haven't seen that for OKC yet. So I'm going to be interesting to see how they come out in game number 4. But the coach understands exactly what took place. Yep, we were in position to win. We just didn't win. We got outplayed in the fourth quarter. That has to change in the next game, and the expectations to do so would still be there to do that.
The Thunder, the best team in the NBA throughout the entirety of this regular season. They have had home floor advantage throughout all of this playoff run. And inside the Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, OKC has been sensational. On the road, DRS, a very different story. After last night, the Thunder now 4-4 straight up and 0-8 against the spread. OKC has been favored in all 19 postseason games this year, and at least a 3-point road favorite in every single game, all 8 away from Oklahoma City, 0-8 against the number. If Oklahoma City is going to win an NBA championship, they're going to need at least one road victory in Indianapolis, which makes the series situation that we will dive through here in the next 15 minutes or so very, very interesting. The Pacers, after 3 games, have a 2-1 series lead. Indiana is 2 wins away from an NBA championship with 2 more home games inside Cambridge Fieldhouse. And yet the Thunder, DRS, still remain greater than a $2 favorite. Minus 230 outright to be crowned an NBA champ.
Yeah, I talked about it yesterday where it's like, okay, the winner of game number 3, if it was Oklahoma City, they're going to win the NBA championship. The winner of game number 3, if it was the Pacers, now we got a really good series. So nobody's shutting the door on the Thunder, particularly at the FanDuel Sportsbook. They're saying, hey, come on, man, minus 230 still in Oklahoma City, even though they don't have home court advantage, and they're down 2-1, and they still have another game here at Cambridge Fieldhouse where the chances of them going up 3-1 look pretty decent right now for the Pacers. Now, do I still think we're going 6 and 7 games? Yes, I do. Is there a chance OKC wins it? Yes, I think that as well, and so do the odds makers. But this game number 4, now we're okay, whatever happens in game number 3, we'll see. But now the pressure really ramps up on OKC. If OKC goes down 3-1, they're not winning this series. That will be a fact.
The series situation and where the NBA final stands after 3 games with only 1 day off until game number 4. All of that is next.
Their team total is 19.5 wins. I told you to go under, and it's by far the best bet I have recommended on this network in 4 years. They can't get out of their own way. And now Sloot is out for the year. Let's hope Sloot gets back, because I respect the hell out of Sloot, and I want her to go out on her own terms. Hopefully we'll have her back for the 26th season.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
I got a feeling
Finally.
Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. I got a feeling there is no chance they're going to the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. I'm just kidding.
They're still not expected to have over 8.5 wins. They're still not expected to have a winning record. Now, I know things could change for the next 24 hours. I get that. But everyone expected Aaron Rodgers to sign with him. He's going to sign with him.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The Indiana Pacers have a 2-1 series advantage in the 2025 NBA Finals and have 2 more home games at least throughout this championship set. And yet, DRS, the Pacers, who have continuously been an underdog throughout this magical playoff run, remain an underdog for the entirety of this series. And of course, entering Game 4 on Friday night. That's tomorrow in Indianapolis. Minus 230, the price on OKC to win an NBA championship outright. The Thunder were minus 700 entering Game 1, minus 650 entering Game number 3 a night ago. But what I think stands out to me the most is the shortest total games the odds makers expect, the most likely distance and duration of the NBA Finals at a damn near even money price at plus 104. DRS is for the NBA Finals to see its entirety now in 7 games.
Still going 6 for me. That's where I'm headed here at this point, because I'm now looking at the face that you can still win 3 in a row if you're OKC, which means handle your business in game number 4. We'll see if they can do that, and we'll talk about those odds and spreads in just a few moments. Game number 5 in your own building, handle your business, and then you play into game number 6, which will be pressure-packed, where you can close them out. Now, also, flip side here, right? Indiana Pacers, once again, win at home. They're up 3-1. You get a kitchen sink effort for OKC, probably a blowout victory in that game for OKC on their home court. Then what do, Ben? You come back home for game number 6 with the Pacers going, no, we're not getting to game number 7 in your building. We're going to close it out right here. So I'm still sticking with game number 6, even though maybe a little bit harder, because the simple fact is the Pacers might be the ones here with the closeout ability in game number 5, which would be incredible to even think about that. But that's just the way it is. So for myself and my money, I say, you know what? Let me just stick with game number 6 here, like my original prediction.
The odds have never looked favorably at Indiana really throughout this postseason. They were favored in 4 of 5 games against Milwaukee in the opening round, an underdog in all 5 games against the East number 1 seed in the Cleveland Cavaliers in round number 2. The Pacers were a home favorite against the New York Knicks, but an underdog inside Madison Square Garden. And of course, Indiana, a series underdog entering the Eastern Conference Finals against New York as well. So should we be surprised the Pacers are the underdog for this series? I guess not. Should we be surprised that Indiana has a 2-1 series lead and won last night convincingly so, especially after a critical fourth quarter as a 5.5-point home underdog, and yet they are a 6-point home dog for tomorrow night's game number 4 in Indianapolis? I guess not. But, Donnie, that's where the Pacers have thrived. They have overcome the odds. They have defied the expectations from the odds makers in the NBA Finals and in their previous 2 rounds, which, again, when you are trying to do the math for some of these prices and what we expect to try to paint the clearest picture of what we are going to see the remainder of the NBA Finals, the Thunder still being a minus 230 favorite. In the prices on OKC, OKC can only win this series now, DRS, in 6 or 7 games. And that's plus 198 for the Thunder. The entire duration is plus 165. And then you look at every single price for Indiana still being nearly 6-1. It is a crazy and large distinction.
It is, because the odds makers, I should say, still don't think that Indiana should be able to win this series, because they thought they should have. Like, what's a better price? Like, maybe Indiana favorite today? Maybe not go that far, but almost a coin flip with a slight edge to OKC. And also understand this. You're looking at the price points here for the next game, which will be in Indiana, where it's like, all right, Friday night, let's sit down and watch. What's that line? Well, Indiana's up 2-1. Indiana was down, or double-digit dogs, won one of those games outright in games 1 and games 2. They go for game number 3. Let's just say it's a 5-point number here. Again, the Pacers won. So this line probably is closer to a pick 'em OKC or -1 OKC. No, it's even higher today at the FanDuel Sportsbook at -6, with other outlets even as high as -6.5. But outside of, like, you're watching the games, like, the have to environment, right? Well, Oklahoma City has to win this game or they're not going to win the NBA Finals, so you juice it up just a little bit. But watching the first 3 games, is our takeaway like, OKC, if they just make a layup or 2, they're going to blow this team out? Like, no. Like, Indiana is literally taking it to Oklahoma City, and yet the odds makers like, that's all fine and good. We know where this series is going to end. Because for me, even like 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, I still have it in my mind that OKC is the better team. But on the court here, we're not getting fluke victories like, oh my gosh, man. Like, when is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander going to go 1 for 19 from the floor and they lose by 2 points here? That's not the case. Teams are playing good basketball here. And the Pacers right now are the better basketball team. But yet the odds makers are like, we're going to rely on our algorithms here. And you'll see eventually OKC's the better team.
And those ratings are still there. Again, the odds makers expect this now to see the distance at plus 104. Entering game 3 last night, for this to be a gentleman's sweep, which both teams had the potential of pulling off, now only Indiana, the shortest total games was 5 at plus 152. Not series correct score, just series total games, which again makes where the odds stand that much more fascinating. It's not, okay, Indiana has a 2-1 series lead, maybe let's have it closer to a pick'em, or hey, at least the Pacers on their home floor with 2 more home games to win it in 6 is plus 280. Third shortest number, every price for OKC. The 2 realistic possibilities, the only 2 possibilities for the Thunder to win an NBA championship, 6 and 7 games, shorter than $2. Indiana's shortest is at home in game 6 at plus 570. Of course, OKC still a minus 230 favorite. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander still a hefty favorite to win NBA Finals MVP. What is fascinating and pointed out to me by our producer extraordinaire, Joe Frizo, only 9 individuals, DRS, have a Finals MVP price still out there. And Benedict Mathurin, Game 3's leading scorer for Indiana, 27 points, the most by a bench player in a Finals game in nearly a decade and a half, does not have one of them. That's a little bit shocking.
Yeah, it is a little bit shocking there, because you figure that if we're going to go 7 games, you still have games 4, 5, 6, and 7, where you can get some of these unheralded superstars to step up in big moments, where maybe if Tyrese Halliburton knocks down a couple game-winning shots again throughout the rest of the series, sure, he's going to get it, but we don't have one guy scoring 40 points every single game, and that's what you make of it. Now, here's the interesting part, too, about the MVP odds. You see the series prices to win, minus 230 on Oklahoma City. You see the MVP odds, minus 240 on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You might be thinking, yes, different betting markets sometimes have slightly different price points here, but there is also the option of, this is a 7-game series. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander goes for 35, 45, 35, 30, and they lose by 1 point in game number 7, where he just had that real team effort for Indiana beating you, which is why he's priced just slightly higher than the team itself, because there is a slight outside chance that he's the best player in this series, and it's unbelievable, and it goes game number 7, and they just didn't win. Now, we don't think that's going to happen, because it usually always just goes to the team that won, but that's why that price point is slightly higher than what you could get on Oklahoma City at minus 230.
Yeah, maybe. So, again, there is really a 99.9% chance, the only way that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wins NBA Finals MVP with how things have played out now, that the Thunder win an NBA championship. So, for the first time, the price on SGA is steeper than that of his team to win that Larry O'Brien trophy. Tyrese Halliburton, second best number. Pascal Siakam, who also scored 21 points last night at 10-1. DRS today, from game 3 to game 4, and today being that off day, this is the only time in the NBA Finals, just 1 day in between games, not 2 full days off. OKC is a 6-point favorite for tomorrow night in Indianapolis. That total has dropped 2 of the 3 games under, 225.5. What is your early look at game number 4 of the NBA Finals?
Yeah, OKC. What do we talk about them? Of course, it's SGA, and they have a good basketball team, number 1 overall in the NBA in the regular season. But we always talk about their defense. And if defense wins championships, they need a lot of defense here moving forward in game number 4. So my first lean is forget about the side itself. I might be looking at that under 225.5.
And we have seen 2 of the 3 stay under in game 2. That did sky to the over, as you probably heard in Kevin Walsh's excitement in that final commercial before we returned here on the early line. Was a late time pushing to the over. More around the NBA next.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent the message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face, and after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday Night Monday. Oh, Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Does a guy like Giannis fit onto that roster if you can make some of those changes?
I just don't see a KD pursuit as being realistic for the Knicks. But hey, if they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, as Leon Rose oftentimes can, I'd go after Giannis in a heartbeat. It's just, what type of package could they entice for the Milwaukee Bucks? And is it a 3 or 4 team trade? It gets a little bit tricky in that regard.
You see the Knicks there with a plus 340 price.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
No one is going to pick Indiana. No one's going to pick Indiana to make it close, honestly. Like, you could get tremendous odds if you pick OKC in 7.
I think that taking the series over 5.5 games, the last 2 NBA Finals series ended in 5. I think this one goes 6. I think the Thunder will get the job done, but I think the Pacers are just too strong of a team and too talented of a team and too deep of a team to lose in 5 or fewer games.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Know him! Ralph!
Ready?
Jacob! Yes! Oh! It was never in doubt! It was never in doubt! Oh, there's points falling out of my eyeballs! Oh, James Johnson to the 10! Everybody gets home! The 228.5 matters!
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
This is the only time in the 2025 NBA Finals that we have just a day off in between games throughout this championship series. A quick turnaround for game number 4 tomorrow night in Indianapolis, where the Pacers have a 2-1 series advantage and can maybe put that champagne on ice at the very least. if they win outright as an underdog tomorrow night inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse. We'll get to some other news around the association and what is ahead this summer in just a moment. But, Donnie, I do want to talk about the early odds. 6 points in favor of Oklahoma City, a stronger line now in favor of the Thunder entering Game 4 than even working its way up. It closed 5.5 last night before game number 3. The total has dropped by about a half point, 225 and a hook. And again, we like to follow the money. We like to follow the betting statistics here on the FanDuel Sportsbook. 74% of the money, 57% of the overall volume of bets were backing the Thunder on the spread as a 5.5 point favorite entering game number 3. And there was a lot of money on Oklahoma City after they evened in their 16-point win in game number 2. Right now, 61% of the bets on Indiana as the home underdog getting 6 points, but 52% of the early money, understanding the importance of this game for the Thunder to equalize once again in the NBA Finals, 52% of the money backing OKC as that 6-point road favorite.
Yeah, again, if you're just reading the line, I mean, does anything scream more that you need to be taking Oklahoma City in game number 4 than this line? So let me get this straight. It's 2-1 here. Game number 4 still in Indiana's building. They just won the last game here by close to double digits. And then you're going to give me another 6 points on Friday night? We could see where the betting public would say, of course, sign me up, because what's the worst case scenario that happens? Well, yeah, you could lose, but also the Pacers could lose, and you still can get that cover. Like, if I'm looking at game number 4 optimistically and saying, what have I seen from the Indiana Pacers? Really good basketball. Like, there is a chance that the Pacers do lose this game and can lose it by less than 6 points. Basically, three possessions here, theoretically, with 3 2-point advantages there. So for my money, I'm really confused by this. Like, I want to take Oklahoma City just because I see that line at -6, and that's telling me something where we'll see where that holds up until the game tips off tomorrow night. But at the same time, I'm saying, boy, I don't want my eyes to deceive me, because the Pacers are good and they can win this game outright again. Why not just take the touchdown right here?
Yeah, DRS, there's no doubt about it, right? Oklahoma City has been incredible at home throughout this postseason run. But on the road, they are 4-4 outright. They are 0-8 against the spread. Their largest win as a road team in this postseason is exactly by that spread of 6 points. And that was round number 1 against the Grizzlies in games they were booked as double-digit favorites on the road in the Grind City. It has not been easy for OKC away from home throughout this playoff run. Again, 1 day off, that's it. Our shortest days in between games in the NBA Finals in the entirety of this championship set. That is this Thursday. Some other basketball news yesterday. The New York Knicks continued to get denied by every NBA organization they reach out to in hopes of interviewing a head coach under contract. And another key thing that will happen this summer, what is the future home of Kevin Durant? KD is 36 years old. He will turn 37 in September for what will be his 18th season in the association. And DRS's business partner, Rich Kleiman, and the Phoenix Suns already exploring some of those potential trade options. The teams that are listed there from Shams Charania were basically all the teams that our Canadian friends at the FanDuel Sportsbook had a graphic for earlier in the week. Spurs, Rockets, Knicks, all of that stuff included right there. What do you make of Kevin Durant's future in the NBA this summer?
It'll be interesting to see where he goes, but also what's the price point for these franchises? Like, again, you are not getting 27-year-old Kevin Durant, who's going to be like your stonewall piece here for the next 10 years. You might get a good season or two where he can still play at a high level, but there's two choices you need to make. Like, because some of the teams I look at, like the Minnesota Timberwolves, they're way up there in salary cap. So I don't know if they're going to want to take on a Kevin Durant when their ownership group basically said, we're coming in here because we spend too much money. We're not a huge market team. We got to get back to playability where we can be a profitable franchise on year to year. I don't think that's going to make sense dollars-wise, but it makes sense for the team. Like, okay, we're in that window. We think we can win. Maybe Kevin Durant can help us for a year or two. The other team that I think makes some sense too would be the New York Knicks. That same framework though, right? We have a veteran team or we're ready to win now. A 1 to 2 year window with Kevin Durant, maybe it makes some sense. The teams I don't think make any sense are, why would he go to the Spurs? Why would he go to Houston? Like, you're building something with those franchises based on young basketball talent, and you want them to learn and go over the ebbs and flows that by the time they're in their absolute prime, they're ready to win championships for years in advance. Why would you blow any of that up? Because Kevin Durant is not coming in to be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to teach these guys the rope. Kevin Durant's coming in like, yeah, you guys are young. It's my basketball at the end of the game. Just make sure I get that, and we'll see what happens here. And also, from the simple fact that I look at Kevin Durant for what he did, saying, I can't win in Oklahoma City, which I didn't mind. I'm going to go to Golden State. I want to win championships. And he did. But then to get mad at Golden State, like, I'm not getting enough attention here. Let me get out of here and show you. I'll go to my own franchise and we'll dominate. He hasn't done anything since he left Golden State at this point. So buyer beware on Kevin Durant.
2.5 years with Brooklyn, 2.5 years with the Phoenix Suns as well. And DRS, he has been an all-star, that being KD, in all 15 years since his first two in the association, including the last 2 full years in the Valley. He is still averaging 26 points per game, as you saw on that graphic. He has still averaged at least 26 points per game in his last 7 seasons since 2017-18. He's still got some juice in the tank. But I agree with you. The fit has to be right for Kevin Durant really to move the needle and move the market in a substantial way for me. How about some college basketball news now? Some changes in terms of some college basketball rules in the competition committee this week. And DRS, there is, quote, positive momentum to switch men's college basketball from 20-minute halves to 4 quarters, as we see basically in every other form of basketball internationally as well.
Oh, this is good. You know what? We only have 30 seconds left, so I'm going to stall right here, Ben.
We can
got
talk
to come back after because, we are going to talk about it next week. I want to set this up because I didn't, pay attention all that much to the rundown right here to get to the intricacies of what we're going to talk about. I didn't see that tweet here, but the fact that it came up and I read the first 2 lines, then shifted to the bottom line here. Oh, we're going to have we are going to have a good segment coming up next, people, because I don't know if I can even make it through the commercial break. I'm trying to stall right now because I am energized by what I just saw here, and I can't wait to talk about it. I'm being serious. Yeah.
If only you looked at the rundown just a little bit earlier in the day. More on the early line next.
Their team total is 19.5 wins. I told you to go under, and it's by far the best bet I have recommended on this network in 4 years. They can't get out of their own way. And now Sloot is out for the year. Let's hope Sloot gets back because I respect the hell out of Sloot, and I want her to go out on her own terms. Hopefully we'll have her back for the 26th season.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I got a feeling Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. I got a feeling there is no chance they're going to the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. I'm just kidding.
They're still not expected to have over 8.5 wins. They're still not expected to have a winning record. Now, I know things could change for the next 24 hours. I get that. But everyone expected Aaron Rodgers to sign with him. He's going to sign with him.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
The 2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There have been a lot of rule changes this week in college basketball. College coaches can now challenge at any point in the game, trailing or otherwise, which we hope will speed up the process and eliminate late game reviews from referees when a ball is out of bounds or something of the sort. The refs can no longer just go to the table and do this. To pause the game in the final 30 seconds to review, a coach has to challenge if they disagree with the whistle on the floor. And then this one, DRS, which is a big one yesterday. There is, quote, positive momentum to switch men's college basketball from 20-minute halves to quarters. The NCAA says hurdles still remain, including the structure of media timeouts. Again, men's college hoops is basically the only form of basketball at a high level, including the women's game collegiately, that still uses 20-minute halves and not 4 quarters.
Yeah, sometimes I like uniqueness, right? Because I do think it's kind of interesting that the college structure is 20 minutes, and we're used to the way a game plays out. But here's where we get into the stuff that doesn't get me in trouble. It gets the people that put these rules out in trouble by me, Ben, if that makes sense. Let's understand this. Pull that tweet back up. Can we get it so we can all read it together and really digest what they're saying? So the first segment says, look, there is positive momentum to switch men's college basketball from 20-minute halves to quarters, the NCAA says. So meaning okay, we're meeting for all the right reasons. You know what? Right. Is the game better for the people watching it here if we change it this way? Will the game be better for the players itself? We have more structure than 20 minutes, which nobody does that anymore. Let's get more uniform with, FIBA rules, with the NBA rules and women's college basketball. And it just makes some sense because we're used to 4 quarters at this point. So say, you know what? Man, that's a pretty good idea. The right heads are prevailing. Right. And then one guy in the room goes, yeah, but it might make it really good, but we can still ruin it by making sure we can actually throw in an extra 2 TV timeouts. Like, why would that even be included? But we are trying to make the game better, which the original premise is trying to do. How can we make it better for the players, for the coaches, for the fans, and TV itself here, which just comes across better? But then we go, well, if it makes the game better, but we have to ruin TV timeouts and we can't get as many in, let's just keep it 2 and 20 because we'll keep it the same. It's where I get so angry at the bowl system. We don't need those here that we have a college football playoff. But somebody goes, well, how am I going to get my $1 million a year contract here with the Rose Bowl committee when that's all I do at this point? So even though the game would be better if the Rose Bowl, quote unquote, is played at Penn State and we can do the same thing, we got to have it in California. So Penn State fans can have to pay an extra $10,000 to get there. Iowa fans have to pay an extra $10,000 to get there. You see where we're going? So this whole thing, I just got angry with 2 20-minute halves, let's do away with it. To go, you know what? I don't know if we can change it for the better because how can we make more money on more TV timeouts? Oh, my God, Ben, make it stop.
The almighty dollar, DRS. You want to understand why a decision is made or a lack of decision is going to be made? You can always follow the money. And what we have learned in the highest level of collegiate athletics, that TV revenue, those TV rights deals, the TV contracts, the TV money, oh boy, that is undefeated. So if in men's college basketball, they can institute with their television partners a few more TV timeouts to get a few more commercials and some more ad revenue in there, they are going to do so, even if it hurts the overall product and, frankly, DRS, the flow of the game. It is an interesting thing to break up a 20-minute half into the under 16, the under 12, the under 8, the under 4, and still have some coaches' timeouts as well. College basketball games are supposed to take about 2 hours. They often take about 2:15, 2:20 because of those TV timeouts. And again, men's college basketball is the only level of this sport that is not in 4 quarters. The product would benefit, but are they going to allow so after the TV revenue is up for debate as well? That remains the question.
And also, you know what's funny too? Like, soccer is so big worldwide. The envy I have for soccer, and again, it's not based in the United States, right? So it's like, you're telling me I can watch an entire half without a commercial break, nonstop action. Then you take a break at the half, you run commercials, you come back in the second half, and I can watch it all the way through. Understand this. If we in the United States created soccer, Ben, every 5 minutes, we'd have a break with a timeout in soccer. The ball would go out of bounds, they'd blow the whistle, and everybody would go back to their bench, and we'd take a 3-minute commercial break and then play 5 more minutes. You understand that? Can you imagine the NFL or watching college basketball where we didn't have commercial breaks during the action and only at the half or the end of the game? Make me commissioner. We will all have so much fun in this sport. We would. We really would.
The only question, I think, DRS, for your board of governors would be, are you costing us TV revenue? which is that sad reality. He is not. All right, elect Donnie Rightside as commissioner of every sport. Hour number 2 up next.